Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Aging Journey podcast, where we explore the strange and unusual experiences of growing up in time in various systems, as well as provide a safe space for diverse role players to explore aging and other lived experiences, unite diverse communities, and decrease social isolation through online gameplay. As usual, I have Static, Pan, Lynn, and Benji playing my Kids Campin campaign. I am your GM, TanyaLashea, and you can watch this game and other games just like it on our YouTube channel. Socials and content warnings will be in the description of each video. So enjoy the journey. All right. Welcome back, everybody, to episode 14 of Happy Camper. Previously on a Happy Camper, a lot happened, so it's going to be a long recap, but stick with me. Okay, starting from the beginning. Ebb's familiar Sploop, who went through the pipes via her command, emerged in a treatment vat filled with translucent eel-like creatures who, by some miracle, had some sort of hive mind connection to their fallen brother and Fred. Sploop was able to incite some sort of a revolt with these creatures. They broke out of the tank and are now in the depths of the facility, I guess, revolting in some way. Sploop then made his way through the rest of the pipes. He did discover a couple of the little laboratories throughout the facility. And he also discovered that some children were suspended in this magical green liquid that seemed to be keeping them preserved. He was unsure if they were unconscious or still alive. In one of the chambers, he also found a comatose Gia in one of these vats of liquid. He did try to get her out with the help of one of the many little mini Ebbs. However, there was a login screen that required a key card and a password. While all of that was happening, Gia, as we're still calling her at the beginning of this recap, traveled with the party, but was eventually exposed as some sort of a strange experiment. She left Dr. Helmuth's office and was intercepted by the guards when she tried to use her psychic abilities, and was actually taken to the command center, where she learned that Dr. Helmuth was actually monitoring Camp What a Day on huge screens in this command center. And she didn't seem too interested in knowing what was going on with so many missing campers. In this command center, Helmuth actually revealed the truth about Camp What a Day. She basically said that it's a long-running experiment of some kind, basically designed to create and test the experimental projects on both the children, but also the strange chimeric creatures that live on the land the camp is built on. In this command center, as they kind of went back and forth, Gia and Helmuth, she finally decided that Gia's current model just wasn't up to snuff, and she wanted to cut her losses. With all of that going on, Gia tried to get help by calling out telepathically to warn Hayden and Juni, which did something completely opposite. Juni, even though she was trapped in the area where Casey and these creepy children were, as they were kind of eating eerily and doing everything in synchronized unison during their like girls' night, she also encountered Dr. Zebulon just for a moment, not long enough to ask him many questions or to converse. But as a reminder, Dr. Zebulon is one of the counselors or one of the teachers at the camp and is also Cinder's father. During this much needed movie marathon of Slasher of the Mudman, which we all agree is a cult classic, Hayden actually zapped into the room and picked Juni up and zapped them back over to the other side of the facility, where they are standing in front of a metal door. On the other side of that door is Gia, and she is basically blowing her way out of this that command center to get away from Dr. Helmuth, with the help of course, a little vicious little Ebb. So we finally have the entire team all together, and they make a run for it. And you guys make it back to the other side of the facility. Even though on the way, something interesting happens with Argos protecting everyone, but also Hayden has a strange reaction to that, with his eyes seemingly going black. You all do eventually make it to the med room on the other side of the facility, where you meet 100 Ebbs, little Ebbs. And that is where you all do a bunch of investigating, and you're able to get some files. You're able to actually grab each of your files. And I don't remember who has that, but we'll talk a little bit more about that. And then you all talk with Gia, who explains that she is a clone of the real Gianna and has been this whole time. And so you decide to take her to Lab 9 because she is grievously hurt or dying. You're not really sure which one, but you can't help her with any of the stuff in the med room. So you agree to take her to Lab 9, where apparently that is where she can help herself, and then that is where she will explain everything. So just when the secret is all revealed, and even though her health is quickly failing, you all go to this Lab 9 and you see the real Gia trapped in stasis. As you all do that, the little Ebbs make their way back through the vents, doing who knows what type of damage, and Sploop makes his way back to the navigation room, where he finds a bunch of maps. He finds a huge map of the facility, and he also finds a map of a world named Hypharon. So, with some of the secrets revealed, but many more to find, let's see where we're all at in this moment. And we're going to start with Gia. You are not sure how long you've been surviving in this this weird liminal space. You're sort of jumping from nightmare to nightmare. But this one has been particularly brutal. Right now you are clawing your way on sandy ground. You have a sliced open belly. You're leaving a trail of blood in the sand behind you. The sun is over you and overbearing. It is searing hot on your back. Your clothes are in tatters. Your left eye is swollen shut. And now And no matter how hard you've tried, you just can't seem to get through to her. She has been quite brutal. This is certainly not a sparring match. She is going to kill you, and she's going to do it slowly. From what you can tell you're at camp. You're at the dune where the relic is. And I will pull up a map just as a reminder, since we haven't been in camp for so long.
The good old days.
I know, aptly called Bury Me Dunes. Strange name.
Bit on the nose.
That was the label for it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so you recognize where you are, but and at the beginning, when all of this started, you were calling for help at the top of your lungs. Unfortunately, you weren't able to do that. Now your vocal cords have been crushed at some point. But you are able to, crawl as much as you can to somewhere, maybe safety. What are you thinking in this moment?
A lot of swears.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna save them, because we have to swear after 30 minutes into an episode, right? So many swears. And I think just kind of the well, I can't do anything else, so I guess I'm just gonna have to keep crawling forward and hope that something materializes to save me.
So far, you've been able to keep consciousness, but just as you're continuing to crawl in this hot sun, you feel a boot crash down onto your back, and it just kind of pushes you and shoves you into the hot sand. At this point, you're not sure how long you can take this. You can turn up to the person and say something to them.
Oh, so I can kind of speak a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In your other eye.
Oh, okay. I'll turn around.
Yeah, you look
and
up.
Just kind of croak out. Why?
You see Juni standing over you. Juni, in this interesting scenario that's happening, you are looking down at Gianna, this lowly girl who you've been charged with discarding, but that wouldn't be any fun to do right away. She's been constantly talking at you about, friendship or some other things, but you feel nothing for her. You can embody this Judy for a moment if you'd like.
Yeah. She looks down at Gia, pressing her boot down a little bit harder. I'm sorry, what was that? I couldn't quite hear you quite clearly. You want to say that again?
Juni, just stop.
What?
What? Why?
What? And she's like, I can't quite hear you. Maybe you need to, I don't know, exhaust some more air or something. And then she punts her straight in the abdomen.
You feel a bone crack as this happens, Gianna.
I think she kind of huddles in on herself as much as she can, but I think the breath is completely knocked out of her at this point. She's kind of opening and closing her mouth, trying to say something, but she can't.
It looks like the students become the master now, huh?
with those words, Gianna, you mercifully lose consciousness. On the outside of this tank, Hayden, Juni, and other Gia you guys are looking at, you are simply seeing a Gia that is suspended in this green liquid who looks almost peaceful. You don't know how, I mean, you could assume you know how long she's been here, but she doesn't seem to be hooked up to anything, like no wires inside of this stuff. She's just unconscious.
Okay. So, injured Gia, stay with me. Okay. If I break the glass, will you die? Will both of you die? How do we get regular G out? But like, is there going to be two of you then? Like, I'll be honest, I would absolutely love you if you were a worm. This is not one of those instances.
GM, do I know if breaking the glass is a safe way to free my original?
I'm going to say this isn't necessarily a brains roll for you. It's actually a grit roll to see if you can push against Dr. Helmuth, who still has you under her command. So let's do a DC. It's going to be a DC. Well, you have pushed back before, but so we'll make it a 10.
Okay.
But we will make it a 7.
Is this that boon we were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said DC 7?
Yes.
Cool. I can explode on this dice.
It can happen.
I believe in you.
So that's a 1.
Okay.
That's the exact opposite of exploding, if anyone's keeping track at home.
As you, Juni, as you ask this, I'm going to say that go ahead and make me a brains roll as you watch as Gia is about to answer you. Let's make it a DC 7.
My brains is a D8.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. That's going to be I'll do the math. 13. I exploded.
Ooh.
Nice.
I love this little D8. It saved me last time too.
Gianna, you do know that breaking the connection the wrong way, there is a way to break the connection. Breaking the connection the wrong way could possibly harm both of you because it needs to be done a certain way. However, you know that breaking the connection at all will deactivate you, which means it will kill you. And under no circumstances would you tell Juni this. Dr. Helmuth has instructed you to, if anyone reveals Congia, for you to try to ensure that they don't, number one, break the connection, and also preferably that they don't actually wake her up. However, you have just kind of been portrayed. So you kind of know that she might kill you because she did just try to kill you. So I'm going to say that all happens in your brain and you almost look as if you're like glitching out because on the outside, like you want to answer truthfully, but something is stopping you. So I'm going to say, go ahead and roll another grit roll. DC is still going to be 7.
Did you
Gia, wake up. like this. Tia, wake up. Hey, hello.
Oh, hey guys, that was so much better. That was a 2.
Oh no.
Tanya, did
was
you
better.
intentionally pick my lowest stat, or am I just lucky?
Well,
I'm gonna change dice.
Tanya, also, I wanted to bring up that last episode, Tiny Ebb did unlock the top of Gia's tank.
that's true.
And that's how Shloop got out. So
Mhm.
the top of the tank is open.
The top of the tank is open. That's correct. Yeah. So unfortunately, your command. After you glitch a bit, it holds. So you do know the answer, but you are not going to tell her the answer. So you can tell her whatever you'd like. And Juni, whatever she says, you know she's lying.
Wonderful.
I don't. I'm not. I'm not. I've never taken her. Nobody. They once they go in the tank, they can't. There's not a safe way without the director's permission to get them out.
Okay, so you're saying that there's no way that I need to ask an evil person's permission to get you out of the tank? How does that work?
I don't know.
And you said that everything that Juni says I know that whatever Gia is saying is false. You said?
You know that she knows the answer, but you also know that she is not going to tell you. And you can interpret that however you like.
Okay. Juni is like, okay, well, if the director doesn't like that I'm gonna get her out with her permission, I don't care. And I gotta do whatever I gotta do, and I'm gonna start looking around for a lead pipe.
Okay. You look around for a lead pipe. Hayden and Sick Gia or Sick Clone Gia, what are you guys doing?
I vaguely remember at the end of last episode not being particularly mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Is that still the case?
I think Hayden's holding you.
Yep.
Thanks, Hayden.
Holding you up.
Real
Yeah.
one. You can set me down.
I just find like kind of a table or like a semi-free table somewhere in the room that
I mean, unfortunately, this is a lab that is not for specimens. So there's a bunch of equipment, but none of it is like, there's no way to lay her down on something up off the ground. You just have to lay her on the ground.
is going to kind of look over at Giz. It's like, okay, you mentioned you can fix yourself in here. How do you do that?
Hey GM. How do I fix myself here?
So you're not 100% sure why you had an issue with this connection. This has not happened to you before. So you're going to have to look around and figure out what the issue is. I will say, because Ebb reminded us already, there might be something wrong with the tank itself. There might be something wrong with the connection. You can assume that. But I'm going to say the only thing you can see in this room is that the deadbolt or the lock or the chain that was on it has been snipped off.
Okay. The deadbolt that was on top of the tank.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this
Lead pipe.
This hasn't happened before, so I'm not quite sure how to fix it. But can you, I don't know, get me, I guess, closer to the tank?
Yeah, I think he'll kind of help balance her with getting her closer over there.
Okay. Yeah, you are right up off the tank. You're looking up at yourself.
That's not trippy at all. Would I have anything preventing me from trying to talk to This is a great question. From trying to talk to myself.
Telepathically?
Sorry.
Telepathically?
Yeah.
No, you can try.
Yeah, and I think I'm just gonna kind of like lean against the tank with like both my hands on it and just like telepathically be like, hey girl, you there?
Okay. I think generally this would just happen, but because this is you against you, it's going to be your grit against your charm. So I'll roll for Gia in the tube, and you can roll for clone Gia.
Which one am I rolling?
Let's see. So we're gonna do your charm, her grit, to see if you can get across to her, and then we're gonna see her reaction with your grit and her. Well, probably not charm. She's probably gonna do a fight. Okay.
That feels correct.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. All right, grit D4. So go ahead and roll your charm. Tell me what I gotta beat.
Ooh, a 6. Oh, +2. So 8.
Okay.
All those classes I took.
It's a 2. Do you have any pluses to that?
Only if I have my broom, which I'm probably never going to see again. So no.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to commune. You feel the connection open. And Hayden, as you're standing next to Gianna, you see the water inside is not moving. It looks just to be holding Gia. But as you see Gianna kind of put her hand on the glass and commune, you see that it's not bubbles, it's more like there seems to be a small little wave coming from Gia's body as you are able to connect to her. What do you say to her? Oh, well, you already said what you said. So let me do a fight, and it's going to be against your grit. D20. Okay. So you have to beat a 16.
I was muted. That's a 1.
Okay. Hayden, go ahead and roll me a brains.
Okay.
DC, I think, is going to be. It's actually going to be pretty low. We'll say a DC is a 10.
Okay. That is gonna be a 19.
Okay. You watch this interaction between Gianna and Gia, who was inside of the tank, and you see that light ripple coming from her body. You see Gianna from the outside that you're holding, kind of focusing. Gianna, do you say that out loud, or do you just say that in your head?
I think she probably unintentionally like whispers it a little bit.
Okay. You kind of hear her whispering, so you know exactly what's happening, right? She's trying to commune, she's trying to talk to, and she has been able to create a connection. So you know all of that's happening.
Yeah.
in the moment, did you see the reverberation? You also know what the response is. Real Gia gets the connection and immediately is like, I'm gonna kick your ass. And so
That's how you know it's real Gia.
as is expected.
Also feels appropriate. Yeah.
Because you guys have such a strong feeling that it's literally going to feel like you get punched in the throat, but by psychic energy. And so Hayden, you watch all of this happen as Gianna like falls back. So unfortunately, Gianna, because you already have a major wound, that is going to give you a minor wound. And
I was going to say, if Hayden's able to, he's going to try and at least like kind of trust ball catch her before she gets out.
I think in a high roll, you're really able to see everything happen in slow motion. So if you'd like to try to intervene, you may.
Even if it's literally like jumping under her to brace her fall. Yeah, but if he's going to try.
I will say, if you don't do something about her getting hit, she will go unconscious.
Yeah, I mean, if he's able to, yeah, he's gonna at least try and intervene.
Okay. How would you like to try and intervene? I will say you're gonna have to use magic, and it's gonna have to be some sort of telepathic power or calling on divinity, so that you can intercede what's actually happening between the two.
Yeah. I'll take the chance because he's seeing such a drastic blowback clearly with this. Is there any way, magic-wise, telepathically, that he can try to take the punch?
I'm gonna say yes, but all of this is happening very quickly. You're going to also need to, I'm gonna allow that to happen, but I will also say that if you aren't able to connect with Argos at the same time to explain to him that you are doing a little switcheroo, that you're not being attacked, there might be a consequence to this.
There's the benefit because he has two-way psychic communication with him. So,
okay, all right, I will. Yeah, so I'll say that happens with such a high roll. I'll say that's exactly what happens. You are able to literally, metaphysically, I guess, step in front of Gianna, and you get punched in the throat. You will take a minor wound for that. And Juni, as you're looking around for a bat, you don't see exactly what happens, but you do see Hayden kind of stumble back, and because he's holding Gianna also stumbles back. I'm gonna say Gianna falls. Something just happened.
What is going on? And she like goes over to the two of them and checks them over. Mostly Hayden. She really is not worried about this clone.
Ouch.
Hayden was just viciously punched in the throat.
Yeah, his confidence is fully knocked out of him at the moment.
Okay. Breathe. Okay.
Just punched me. Ow. Not. He kind of gestures to the clone. Not that Gia. Other Gia. Oh, God. Fuck.
Oh, Gia, what did you do?
I'm sorry. It was my fault. I'm sorry. I was trying to reconnect. It didn't work. Yes.
Okay. You know what? I seem to be in the best shape here. I'll do it. Breaking the tank is not a good idea. Let me get into the tank.
No, what is that?
Sorry, just to clarify, you want to physically get into the tank.
No, I'm gonna I'm gonna try to create a psychic connection to
I
Brooms.
see. Okay. I wasn't gonna say no. I was just making sure.
I mean, the bolt's gone. I could get it intact. I'm just kidding.
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
I'm just kidding. No, it's a metaphor.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to get through to Gia so that maybe Gia in the tank can give me some real answers.
Okay. All right.
Bold of you to think she knows what's going on.
I will say, yes,
You want to die?
You can try to commune. You don't have the same connection as Gianna, and specifically because of the way they have put her in the tank so that she can sustain clone Gianna. She also kind of has a barrier, so she's not like, you wouldn't be able to connect with her as easily as you do with clone Gianna, like outside of it. So I'll say that you will need to roll to see if you can connect.
Charm?
So it'll be Gianna's grit versus your charm.
Yeah.
Would you like to know what you have to beat?
What? Yeah.
Tanya, am I rolling or are you rolling?
Oh, I already rolled.
Okay, perfect.
It's a 2.
Wait. Let's see. That's going to be a 17 plus 5 is 22.
Wow. Yeah. You were 100% able to commune. Hayden and Gianna, you both see the same thing that happened last time. You see her put her hand on the glass. You see the ripples coming from Gia in the space as she kind of communes with you. And I'll say, because of such a high roll, not only are you able to commune, you were able to close your eyes and open them. And instead of standing outside of the cave, this tube, you are standing on sand. And you are in some kind of a body version, some sort of a version of your body. And there's Gianna. You can definitely tell it's the one that's in the cage. You guys are in some sort of a mental space together. She is looking worse for wear, but alive.
And she runs over to her and like carefully like turns her over, and she's like, Gia, wake up. Can you hear me?
Am I
We'll
conscious?
let that roll, and Gia will wake up.
Do I still feel like Juni just basically murdered me?
Let's see. You open your eyes to, well, Judy's face, but let's see if you can, in this split second, kind of determine that something has changed. Maybe a glint in the eyes, perhaps. So once again, it's going to be Juni's charm versus your, I'm going to say, your brains.
Ooh.
Juni's straight up pouting, man.
Juni's pouting?
She's like, oh my god, this is exactly like Pixel Perfect when the girl was like stuck in a coma and the Pixel like went inside and like had to like give her life to her friend so she wouldn't die. You don't get that reference because you
What did everybody get?
Well, you're not going to believe it, but on my D10, I also got a 2.
All right.
That's wonderful. I got a 15.
Okay. I'm gonna say you are not 100% convinced that this is a different Juni, or in terms of like the real Juni, because you're still in this world.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is a different Juni. This is not the one that was just trying to kill you. So there's that.
Okay. Okay. What? What now?
You're alive. Okay. I don't really know where I am now. But first things first, you gotta get fixed up or something, and then we have to get your real body out of the tank so that clone you can deactivate, and then we can get off this freaking island. I'm gonna use magic to try to heal her in this space, hoping that it'll do something in the real world.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. What do you want to do? What type of magic are you wanting to do?
I want to do healing magic.
Okay. Now in this world, you won't have any like components. You don't have anything on your person. So you're just, I would say this is like this is like healing with your own energy, trying to heal her psychically.
That's fine. I think Juni's kind of gotten used to not relying on her wand in all of the moments that they've had so far, in which they could easily lose something, that she just wraps up Gia in a bear hug and tries to focus on healing her.
Okay. Roll your magic dice. Roll a d4.
Just a d4?
Yeah, just that, and see. Let me just see how high you get.
3.
Okay. Yeah, that's your Gia. As you are embraced, you do feel like there's just energy being poured into you, and so very slowly, your rib fixes itself. Your eyes able to open. The fingers that were broken kind of snap back into place.
So what? You're the angel, and you're gonna come and heal me, and then what? You're gonna come back and murder me again? Is that what we're gonna do over and over?
Or murder you? Just shut up and take it.
That's what the last you said.
No, there's no look. The only person that has 2 of them is you. Okay, you took us to this island, and I don't even know how you got there in the first place. But I knew as soon as I saw you that it wasn't you, and that it was weird. You would be so proud of me. But yeah, I'm not here to hurt you. Why would I be here to hurt you?
I think last time you said something along the lines of the student becoming the master, which honestly rude, because I didn't mean to kill you, but you seem to really be enjoying it.
Well, I'll be honest, I almost died twice by your hand and once by your hand, but indirectly through Fred. So, you know what? I don't blame me if I wanted to kill you because I was a little upset, and I'm from the streets. But, that's behind us right now because crazy things are happening.
Gianna, go ahead and make a brains roll. DC 6.
Okay. From the street. Hey, that's a 9.
I think at this moment you come to realize that this isn't a version of Juni that has been made in your mind like the versions of other people you've seen as you've been hopping through these crazy nightmares. This is the real Juni. She is somehow in front of you here.
How did you get here?
Put my hand on your tank and tried to create a psychic connection like I learned from you guys to do. And now I'm here. And I don't know where here is, technically. I was just in a lab.
A lab.
Uh-huh. And there's a clone of you. Any of this ringing a bell?
Not really.
None of that is ringing a bell because the last thing you remember was being inside of a giant fish
Mm-hmm. That
and
happened.
trying to survive.
Yep.
And being turned into stone. Pretty sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I did do that to myself.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a choice.
No memories after that.
Listen, there's a lot of weird stuff on this island. I think, obviously, if you're a clone, I'm coming up with a theory that, you know, a lot of other people might be clones that we know. And Cinder's dad is here, and he looked really shocked when I told him that he was alive. And also, they brought kids from the real world here, and they eat like there's no tomorrow. And they don't throw up after. It's really weird. And they invited me to a sleepover, but then that sleepover went awry, and they started like looking at me like surveillance cameras. And then Hayden popped in, and he teleported me out, and we don't know where Ebb is. But there were a bunch of like tiny little Ebbs like in the medical bay, and they were really, really cute. And so I gave them roller skates. And then you got injured, your clone got injured, and then we found you in a tank.
Huh.
We gotta get out of here.
As you get caught up with all of this. Hayden, on the other side of this connection, Juni has just been standing there. She hasn't gotten psychically punched in the throat, so that's good. But she has been kind of standing there completely still, as if she's having a conversation for like 5 minutes. You and Gianna have been in this room now, and over the last couple of minutes, you have continued to hear guards walking around. At some point in between these 5 minutes, you heard a bunch of like clunking sounds, which are indicating that some of the doors have raised in some of the areas because they are going to do a full sweep of the facility. And you all hear over the intercoms, you all hear your names: Juniper Aroha, Hayden Valentine, Gianna Marino, Ebb Undertow. You can hear, this isn't Dr. Helmuth, this is somebody else, but like they're just saying your names over and over again. They're telling you that your pictures are on their like comms. There's going to be a full facility-wide sweep to find you all.
Because it is Hayden kind of looking between Gia, and Juni. It's kind of the thing of he's just like, okay, we need to hide, but I don't know what damage it's gonna do if I try and disconnect Juni and Gia right now. Honestly, if this place wasn't so terrifying, I would be having the time of my life studying this right now.
Gia, you're kind of surprised that Juni was even able to create a connection. You also, even though you're kind of starting to like these kids, you also are a scientist and you work here, and you also find this really interesting that they're able to do this. And I think it's at this point you kind of look over at the folders that they grabbed, and you have a curiosity about, because Dr. Helmuth didn't really tell you, but like why these kids are so important, or why they are chosen to be experimented on.
Well, what better time than the present to kind of, break that last taboo of my job.
Yep.
Let's snoop.
Yep.
If we're going, Hayden, if we're gonna die here, we're gonna die armed with knowledge.
Yep. I think Hayden kind of just noticing you're glancing at the photos, at the folders, he's like, just the kind of quiet, unspoken nod between the both of you as he goes over and grabs them.
as you guys begin to flip through the folders, Ebb Swoop made his way to the navigation room after talking with the group, promising to rendezvous with them after he had done some investigations. And when he goes back to the navigation room, and this is before the whole thing that's going on in that room, because this is all happening simultaneously, you have a couple of minutes to look around the room. It is, so number one, you find a map of the facility that I'm showing now. It is quite large. It's basically in the shape of a huge rectangle, with a bunch of stuff at the back, the entrance at the front, and then the director's office on the side, the experiment wing in the middle, and the housing area for where you all were, which is called the gold sector, as well as the housing area for the other kids you were at, and then the command center that's in the back of the area. And then where Gia was working earlier with Cherry and they went to go see that strange experiment, was the observation hall. And then there's just a bunch of other stuff. But the navigation room basically shows you this ship map. And so now you kind of, just by looking at it, kind of can tell where you all need to go if you're trying to explore, trying to get out of here, trying to get some information. So you have that. And I will...
Here's a fun question.
Yes.
The ship that we saw on the shore of the magical island with like the ancient ruins and things, is this the ship?
No.
Okay.
But I do think that Sploop can make a brains roll, because I think that was an interesting question.
Oh no.
And maybe he might be able to figure out something else about it.
Nope, probably not.
What was it?
It's a 3.
Okay.
Which is pretty good for him, but it's not. We're not thinkers over here.
Well, he does think to himself, well, this looks like a ship. So you get that for free, in terms of like what he sees. But you don't really see any evidence of that in the room. So you see this map. He also sees another map. This map is of a world, and the world is called Hypharon. It shows you basically the entire, like, all of the continents, the seas, the waters, and things like that. Gives you all the names for all of them, and also gives you like a date. He also sees that there is a symbol at the bottom right of the map, and this is a bit of a. This is basically what it's like. It looks like it's embossed with gold, and it's a shield with some filigree inside that I'm gonna say he doesn't really recognize. He has never seen this type of symbol before.
Nah.
But these are the maps that he sees, and then there are like close-ups. So there are like close-ups of this map with like jargon on them. There's like close-ups of the facility map, things like that.
Is there a mark on the world map that says like lab or camp?
That is gonna
are here.
That is gonna take a brains roll because they don't really need to have that.
They know where they are.
Yeah, they know where they are. But to try to decipher through like all the maps and what they're and where they are, he can try to decipher it, or you can grab it and see if someone else can decipher it.
Okay, first he's gonna try and decipher it just a little bit, and then he's gonna just grab a bunch of maps and head over to where the smart people are.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, it's a 1. It's a 1. He has no idea. No idea. Heart full, brain empty.
Well, you Split looks at all of these things, just looks from the map to the facility map, kind of looks at all of the continents, and he's like, okay, and then grabs them.
He's like, well, this seems like very important materials. Indeed, I shall bring it to the young mistresses and master, and they shall tell me what words are.
Lovely.
I can't read.
I will say that as you make your way from the navigation room and you make your way to the lab, which is lab 9, which is right next to the navigation room, so it only takes you a second. This is before you start to hear the announcements go off, but you can see as you slip into the room that one of the big shutters that had been closed this whole time is beginning to open as you go in, and you all hear the announcement. And as you go in, you see Gianna in her stasis. You see Juni with her hand on the container by herself, and then you see Hayden and Gianna over by like the kiosk with a bunch of folders.
I'm gonna head to them with my cinder folder and all my maps. Yes, young sir, Hayden, yes, indeed. Yes, I have more information for you that perhaps you could decipher and tell me what it means.
Hayden just takes a second, turns around, kind of kneels down. Appreciate any information we can get, friend. I should be able to get these to you in just a moment.
Thank you, sir. I shall keep watch. And he's gonna go to the like shutter that's like starting to open and like peer out of it.
Yeah, doing some reconnaissance.
Suspiciously.
I'll say that as you look out, you can already see basically like the guards being deployed and organized. You also do see glimpses of children. I don't know if Sploop saw any of these children. These are the ones that Juni was with, as well as the other ones that were at lunch. But you see,
he saw the vat children though. He didn't see those children, but he did see a bunch of vat children.
Yes, you did see
if
a bunch
any of them are the same as the vat children, he might recognize them. Maybe. If they're
I'll say that you don't. I mean, they are children, but you don't. I don't think you would say that they look the same.
Okay. So none of the tube kids are the lab kids. Got it.
There, you can just tell that there's something happening. Like there's some movement going on. There's some orders being given. There's a lot going on since this whole thing kicked off.
They're gonna kill them all.
As you do that, Hayden and Gia, and also for everybody, I've put the 2 maps in Discord so that you can check them out there, just in case I move them around up here. But you have. So what are you guys wanting to look at first? There's a lot of information here. You have all the folders, and now you have these maps that Sploop has given you.
Figure at least logically, well, prior to Sploop giving us these additional like folders and maps, we've probably at least gone through our own folders.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start with the folders. Who are you looking at first? Before he gives you Cinder, you only have your own. So, are you guys looking at them together or separately?
Huh.
Do you trust each other?
I imagine has Gianna, I guess is what we're gonna call the clone, been told to has she been given any instructions on information sharing with Hayden?
I mean, you kind of know that these experiments are down here, and they're not a secret secret. Like, there's a lot of people that work down here. They're just supposed to be a secret to the campers, because they're the experiments. So generally you wouldn't want him to know, but he already does. So I think at this point it's going to be a battle between you and your orders if you want to tell too much. But I think if you are, still going into, well, I'm still in character, it's almost like your body and your mind shouldn't push you too much to stop what you're doing unless it thinks you're about to reveal too much. That's how it kind of works.
So theoretically, if she happens to be holding the file and Hayden happens to be reading over her shoulder, that's not her fault.
I don't know about that one. I might need a roll. Because then your mind would ask you, are you protecting the secret? Or are you letting him read it? And it wouldn't let you do that.
What if it's just conveniently open on the floor?
I think if Hayden is holding it, or if it's on the floor, or if like he's the one that's investigating it and you're just not stopping him, that's like a way around it.
Perfect. Let's go with that way.
Thank you. I was about to be asking the inverse question of like, what if Hayden is the one holding the folder? She's just kind of like over his shoulder, like,
I think in character we found this out by like Gia accidentally like snapping the folder shut every time she saw him looking at it.
Probably.
Wonderful. Okay. Then so then you have 4 people. Juniper, Hayden, Gianna, and Ebb. Who do you want to look at first?
I feel like probably the most pressing one he would try to probably start with. This is probably how we figured it out, was Gia's folder.
Okay.
He's gonna let Hayden completely take the lead since she has nothing to do with what's going on.
You open up Gia's folder. You see a picture of her. You see, you actually see like a bunch of pictures of her, not just of her at camp. Gia, what would be some just like regular like family photos or photos of you like doing stuff?
There's definitely a picture of them around like the dining table with Mateo stacking some kind of food with some kind of animal that he shouldn't be. There's her probably out with the jackalopes, hanging out, teaching them some tricks. There's also probably her kind of like wandering around the woods outside of her family's house looking for other little cryptids.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of pictures, pretty nice pictures. There's a bit of like a dossier that shows like almost like her character sheet, but it basically shows like her name, her age, like but some of it's all of her legal documentation that her parents were asked to sign for her to come to camp. The little section of like if there's any medication, so it looks normal at first. It's all that important information, but as you're flipping through, at some point you get to like another section of the folder where it's a little bit more detailed information, like straight up medical information you would get from like a doctor, psychiatric evals, things where you're just kind of like, does a camp need this? This seems kind of invasive. Not sure a parent would decide to give all of this to a camp. It's weird. Like blood type, a sample of the blood, that type of situation. You see all of that.
It's like, blood type seems reasonable to sample the blood. Wait a minute.
Yeah, like full little vial that's taped in. And then you see Miss Angelique's handwriting, as she has written notes throughout her interactions and throughout camp since she got there. And the very first note simply says, "Consent not given." That's the first note. The second note says, "Gianna is a strong-willed girl, but harmless. She may be a good success story. Her fighting studies are coming along. They'll allow her to survive." That's the second note. The third note says, "Who assigned her to the experiment group? This must have been a mistake. I would like to reassign her immediately." And then there's a last note. "Dr. Helmuth is impressed with her physical and intellectual abilities, and she prefers to enter her into the SD7 program. However, I have not been able to administer my potion. She seems very suspicious of me for some reason."
For some reason.
It's annoying. I don't know why she won't drink any of my suspicious tea. Then the rest of it says, "No matter. We should have enough with the other 3 who have been chosen." And that's the end of the notes and the end of that file.
You know, the more I learn about her, the more vindicated I feel about my choices.
Who else would you like to read about?
Just kind of closes it. Just trying to process all of that. And then he kind of considers the entire past history of their time since they got there. He immediately grabs Juni's file.
Juniper Aroha. The very first note. Automatic consent. Newcomer may need some assistance. Powers are latent. Due to isolation from magical world, she should be easy to manipulate. I requested for the camp to have the siren be in the newcomers camp, just in case her latent abilities are insufficient. Should help with cleanup. That's the first note. Second note. While there are no experiments currently, Juni seems to be absorbing Hayden's visions, or vice versa. During observation, Juni seems to have a very strong connection to her mother. And this is manifesting in how her powers are growing. It seems Hayden's experiment is a success. With prolonged exposure to one another, they might be able to share visions. This may be very useful leverage against the Divinity Ward, should we be able to weaponize it. That's the second note. Third note. There has been an unfortunate development. See Gianna Marino's file for more information. It is my suggestion that Juniper is moved from her camp group to preserve the ongoing experiment, as my control over her has been broken. In addition, I suggest the destruction of Ebb Undertow. See her file for more information.
Can we, Hayden, just real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling you to do this, but it would be really funny if you ripped out the part that says she's easily manipulated and just stuck it on her forehead.
Just kind of gives you a look. I'm not doing that.
It would be funny though. I mean, it would be funny.
As he is actually kind of trying to stifle a laugh. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it, but time and place. Time and place.
Okay, maybe just like save that page, and once we get out of here, it'll be funny for everybody.
In that note, along with the other note, I'll say that there are some things in here that are obviously alarming, but there are two specific things that you guys can make a brains roll about to see if you kind of understand what they're talking about. The first one, anyone can make a brains roll when they talk about what was I saying? Oh yeah, the Juni seems to have a very strong connection to her mother, and this is manifesting and how her powers are growing. I believe there was a whole conversation when she was able to sense the three that they were alive, and you guys got to see some of that manifestation. So you guys can make a brains roll about that, and then also you can make a brains roll about the divinity ward, because that is a new word for all of you. And then you can also make a brains roll about but the thing about Ebb. So the siren being in the group to help with cleanup, and the destruction ask. So lots of stuff you could make brain rolls for.
Let's go. Here for it.
Okay. What do you want to focus on?
I think Gianna would focus on Ebb.
Okay. I think for this one, go ahead and roll me, because I don't know if you know much about that, but you never know. Go ahead and give me it's going to have to be a DC 7, I think.
Would Ebb being a siren make that lower because of my family?
Because you've worked with sirens before, because they're technically not, they wouldn't be under your animal domain.
Traded with them frequently.
Oh, because of merchant. Okay. Okay. I will allow that. We'll do a DC 5.
And boy, did I need it, because that is a 5.
Oh, that's lucky.
Yes, it is.
So you are aware that Ebb, eats has an interesting diet. You also know that there are sirens that are not too shy about eating people. And there's even a bit of a rumor about a group of sirens that used to live off a break like point. However, from what you can hear from her going from wanting Ebb in the group, and then all of a sudden wanting her not even just like out of the group, but like killed, that's extreme. Something obviously happened there. So I'll say that you glean that. Hayden?
Ebb does seem to have that polarizing effect on people.
I think Hayden, more than anything, is kind of focusing in regards to partially the mention of that divinity room, but more specifically the notation mentioning that between his abilities and Juni's, they seem to work well together.
Okay. Go ahead and make a brain roll. DC. I'm gonna say to get kind of anything from that, and you can try to explain. So I'm not going to tell you too much about the Divinity Ward, but just off of like a DC, probably like 6, you would know what that is. At least you would probably have come across that in your learnings. DC 10, you know more than just the passing information. You actually know, you can actually connect that to the rest of this passage.
Yep.
DC 15 or higher, you'll get something real special.
All right. So that is just making the 10.
Okay.
Hey,
That's okay.
Bill us on
Great.
barely making it this time.
With the way I'd have lost my mind if I got another 50.
That would have been great. Okay. This is what you immediately know about. Copy. I'm going to put it in the chat. This is what you immediately know about. We don't know that much. Okay, there we go. This is what you immediately know about the Divinity Ward. You have read about them in historical texts, particularly religious historical texts, that most likely your father has ensured that you learn, just in case you come across, different people where you might need to talk about the histories of different religious orders. The Divinity Ward is essentially a militarized, like, religious conglomerate who tend to claim that they wield the power of 3 goddesses. And these goddesses are believed to be the people who created their worlds. So you know that right off the bat. You also know, because of the context of that passage, that one of the things that you realized when you saw Juni's power was that it was very reminiscent of a goddess, specifically one of the goddesses that you haven't learned a lot about, but you guys have heard her name a lot, like in a lot of the spaces around the camp. You heard her fake name, and then you learned her real name, or you think you learned her real name, which was Solera. And so you've been realizing that there's some goddess of the moon that seems to be connected to the camp, seems to be connected to Juni. You also know that that is one of the 3 goddesses that the Divinity Ward believed created the world. They are also a very, very old, like, conglomerate that, based off of your studies, they're no longer in existence, but it's very clear that they are talking about them in present day.
Okay. Bad feeling on where the rest of these are going to go. At this point, it's also a little bit after reading some of Juni's file, he's actually avoiding his own, and he grabs Ebb's. He's terrified now to know what is written in his own.
Makes sense.
Gianna side eyes you.
As you grab Ebb's, carefully avoiding your own, and you open it up, we'll quickly go back to Ebb. Ebb, what are you doing outside? I will say that in the last couple of minutes, things have changed. Another announcement went out that rang across the entire area, the entire island, where everyone got the names of all 4 of you now. So they're not just looking for you. And you can also notice that some people have been recalled, like they're going back, and others are still sweeping. But at this point, they don't know where you are, and they do know that you're a siren. So at this point, they are making a decision to try to sweep like the edges of the water to see if you're still in, like you're in the water. So there's some people going back to the facility. There are some people who are walking closer to like the edge of the beach. And then there's a couple of people who are getting ready to they brought out scuba gear and they're going to go and try to sweep inside the water.
Cool. I'm still in my bush full of thorns. And do I have a sense of how long it's going to take for the little Ebbs to get their legs all the way out here?
Well, it's been, I would say by the time we cut back to you, it's been probably like 10, 15 minutes from when Gianna got out, when they took her to the other side, all that happened. Then they got the order, and Juni's been communing with Gianna. So I will say that they've been making their way since 15 minutes ago. So I would assume they would probably begin to descend right about now. It is like a scene from Jurassic Park where the raptors are coming through the grass. Yes. Only it's 100 mini little Ebbs that you can't see either, coming through the grass, weaving through the trees. What would you like them to do?
Okay, so I'm gonna keep my camouflage, but I'm gonna take my spikes that I put in the thorn bush and I'm gonna put them between all of my fingers so that I have werewolf claws, and I'm gonna start stalking through the brush as quietly and as invisibly as possible. And whenever we get within like a 10-foot radius of a dude, I would like to just cut his legs out from under them.
Okay.
So that they fall into the brush and are silenced by as many little Ebbs as possible.
Wonderful. Okay, go ahead and make a flight roll for how you guys are moving through the forest. Let's make the DC against their kind of like passive knowledge, these goons, and so I'll have them be a D6. Let's see. Okay, so you have to beat a 3.
Okay, that's good. I rolled a 2, but I have a +2. That gives me a 4.
All right. Yeah, you and the little Ebbs are able to silently, but like not as silent, like once in a while somebody will hear a rustle behind them, but it's not fast enough and they'll be sucked down. What do you want? What do you want the little Ebbs to do when these fallen guys are on the ground?
Rip their tongues out.
Oh my god.
And slit throats.
It is absolute carnage out in the forest as Ebb and these 100 mini Ebbs absolutely decimate. In fact, let's see. Actually, let's roll. Go ahead.
I'm also gonna keep like my spikes like covered in my neurotoxin as much as possible and poke any of them that like the Ebbs take down so that they're frozen as they're being eviscerated, so they don't make any screamy noises on accident.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a fight roll. DC, these are soldiers, so I'm going to assume that they probably have also a D20. So we'll go ahead and roll. Oh my gosh.
What?
You have to beat a 2.
Wow.
Bad roll.
Oh, yeah. I got a 7 plus
quickly
1.
Turning into the best day of Ebb's life.
8. I have one other thing I want to do as I'm like stalking through the woods back towards my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to let out the low piercing whistle of the whistle man at like the death of each one of the dudes as they disappear, there's a whistleman whistle, just to maybe either call out the whistleman, hoping he's in the woods somewhere here too, or associate their deaths with, oh no, there's another monster out here. It couldn't possibly be a tiny girl doing it at all.
You know what? Since you honestly have become an expert at doing this whistle already, that's canon.
I love this whistle.
I will allow these whistles to be perfect every time you perform them. For the first part, though, let's see how it's perceived. So go ahead and roll a charm.
Okay.
And it's going to be against a secret DC.
Secret DC. Wow, that was really good. +2 is a 16.
Okay. Now, let's see. Well, I mean, I guess they would be terrified regardless. But let's see if they will change their trajectory. So let's roll their grit if they're like afraid
To go near it, yeah.
Okay, I got a 7. So yeah, so they're in the midst of this chaos. Even though you guys are pretty much silent and deadly killers, once in a while, like as the whistle kind of goes out and rings out, people they stop and like turn around, and then they don't see anything or hear anything, and then they hear it again, and they hear it again, and it seems to be getting closer. And then eventually, as the one last person turns around, he realizes that the other person he was just looking at 5 seconds ago is gone, before he is also taken. And I'm gonna roll because I'm gonna roll a D. I'm gonna roll another D100 because that was funny the first time. Yeah. See how many guards out like in this place, because there are a lot, but let's see how many you took out. Okay. Wow. 34.
Wow.
A lot.
Mom would be so proud of me.
I will also say though, the same amount of ebbs disappear.
Oh, poor babies.
Kind of just disintegrate at some point. And I'll say it's the earliest ones that popped out, they disintegrate first.
Oh no. I have a limited time with my babies. The other half, I think, are trying to collect as many key cards as possible so that I can actually get into the facility.
Mm-hmm. They have been doing that. Let me roll for them to see how many they've been able to get. I'll roll a d20. 1.
No! No!
I've been a bit
They're
distracted.
not smart. They're not. They heard violence and they went.
It's been a long time. So actually, let me roll their fight, because maybe they stole one, but let me see how many they just terrorized and bought and stole one that way. 3. Okay. But I'll also say that 3 more guards inside are dead. Probably.
Hell yes.
So at this point, they're still gathering, but they have 4. Did you want them to all gather as many as they could and then come back all at once, or drop them off?
What do you mean? Wait, you mean the keys?
Do you want them to get a key card and then go to the lab 9, drop it off, and then find more?
No.
Or do you just want them all to congregate at one time?
I want them to all kind of meet me wherever I'm gonna enter the facility so that I can have something to get into.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'll say that you're able to decimate everyone outside. And I mean, you have enough ebbs that when you get to the entrance or even the hole that they've been closing, they are gonna just, if they see you coming, they're just gonna run for it probably, because that'd be terrifying.
The guards are running for it when they
Yeah,
see me
you would
coming?
run to like sound an alarm and get people. So you would either have to just immediately try to like fight them or outrun them and slow them down, however you want to do it.
I was gonna try to see if there was like a person-sized drain along the edge of the like wall of the facility or not that I could go into, since we are right on the edge of the.
So there is like an output drain, but it's not big enough for you, or it's not small enough for you. Oh, wait. Big enough, yeah. Not big enough.
Okay. Well, then I guess we're go. Is that the only door? The front door?
So yes, the facility is basically the front, which is up here, which is basically upstairs, and then you come down the stairs to the left, and you come down the stairs, and then you have quarantine, and then you come into the building. And they've designed it that way on purpose, so that there's only one way in and one way out.
Okay. Then I'm gonna try to use magic, because I still have my wand.
Okay.
So I think she's gonna try to use a siren song to make the guards ignore her as she walks in. She's gonna do it all spooky-ooky. Very whistly, scary sounds.
Okay. Does that just happen, or do you have to roll a charm?
I'm using magic and making it up, so it's not like a spell or anything. That's just me putting color into my magic.
Okay. Let's see. Are you using your wand?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm going to say, your siren song, even though they're ignoring you, it's technically going to be against their grit. So let's see. Let's roll either charm. So just be like, ignore me. Or you can do charm, and you can choose whether they do grit or flight. So either they cower, but they stay where they are, or they run away.
I think I'll do grit, because I want them to just like not have even known I was there.
Okay.
To get like a chill up their spine, like a ghost went by or something.
Oh my gosh. You have to beat a 1.
Yay! Because I rolled an 18.
Jeez. Yeah, that just happens.
Woo!
It just happens. That's so high. Oh my gosh, a 1. You can do whatever. What do you want to do? As you like, I'm gonna say literally you're both too short, too quiet, and your song is kind of making everyone not see you. You're basically invisible.
As I have my cool neurotoxic claws. And I'm just gonna try and sneak in, and based on the map that Sploop saw, try and make my way as quietly and as invisibly as I can to where my friends are.
Sure. I'll say that your let me roll again for them to see how many. I'll roll a d20 to see how many actually meet you at the entrance as you walk in. So you're walking in, you walk past quarantine, and I'll say you're not even really sneaking. You're just walking normally in the middle of the path, but people just can't see you.
I'm just so sneaky.
Okay, 6 came. You have 4 keys. Let's look at the other 2 and see if they found keys. Nope, 1 did though. So 6 came, and 5 of them give you a key card, and 1 of them kind of looks at you and sort of, shrugs.
I'm just gonna pat that one on the head. You did your best, really. You're just excellent at everything, and I'm just so proud of you guys. We should go. We should probably go. Here we go. Come on. I'm gonna take her little hand and walk with her.
You have 5 key cards. I will we'll see how good those key cards are when you actually get to where you're going. But yeah, you make your way past the medical bay, past navigation. There are guards running up and down the hall. They're doing a full sweep. None of them pay attention to you. You get to the 9th lab, which you know Sploop is behind. You can kind of feel him behind there. And Hayden and Gianna, as you guys open up Ebb's file, the door opens to where you guys came in with one of your key cards that you have. And you guys see Ebb just standing there in the hallway, and she comes into the room
With a bunch of little Ebbs.
Mhm.
They're like doing roller skate rings around the rosy around me and stuff.
and a handful of key cards.
And a handful of key cards and a handful of spikes.
And Ebb, you see Hayden and Gianna sitting together, looking over a file, and there's other files on the ground. You see another Gianna in a vat, and you see Juni kind of cosplaying Shape of Water, has her hand on the you don't really understand the context of what's going on in here, but this is what you see when you walk in.
Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is pick up Sploop and give him a hug and say, I missed you so much. It's okay, I have your jar of water, and take my jar of water and put him in the jar of water. Do you feel better now? Oh, yes, mistress. That is just, that hits the spot. Oh, I'm so glad you're alive. Thanks, me too. Hi, guys. As her hands are covered in blood and shit.
Yes. Yeah, and you all see basically Rambo version Ebb. She looks like she has done some damage.
I have so many questions, and now is not the time for any of them.
Miss Angelique, for the record, wanted you dead, Ebb. She
Yes.
wrote it down and everything.
She sucked.
Right?
I knew it. She sucked the whole time. What else did it say?
That's we're just getting into.
She did say that Juniper is easy to manipulate.
She's not suspicious enough of people.
Right. Which, I guess you have to have an open mind if you just found out magic's real or whatever.
Yeah. The human world is weird.
So weird.
So, how's it going being a clone?
It was going okay, and now I'm not feeling great.
Yeah.
But we're definitely not about to read a file about you, because I shouldn't let you do that.
No, you should definitely not let me do that. It's a good thing that I am going to do it anyway. Let's read the file.
Okay. Okay. You are all in this area. You open up the file. You're about to read it. And let's quickly see what's going on with Judy and real Gianna. I will say it's been a couple of minutes. In those minutes, Gianna, you have been able to get back to health. Judy, you have been able to catch Gianna up on what's been going on these last 2 days or so. And you both are now standing in the Bury Meath Dunes, next to the relic in camp. Sort of. There's something strange about this place. It's obviously not real because as you guys are walking in the sand, you just keep coming back to the same area. Gianna, you are used to this. This has been your life for, it seems, forever. It's just once in a while you'll go to a new place that's usually just as horrific.
Yay! Change of scenery, same horror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is getting us nowhere.
I mean, and you got in just like connecting with me telepathically.
Yes, I wasn't trying to, but here we are. So
You weren't.
You do remember, Gianna, that before Juni came, you also got another like psychic link, but it was something that you punched in the throat.
Did I? How many times did you try?
once.
Did somebody try before you?
Possibly. I think that's what Hayden was trying to tell me. But he was holding his throat and making a noise that was like,
Oh no.
So
Oh no. I'm gonna have to apologize to him for that. It was a reaction. It's been a hard, I'm gonna say, lifetime in here. Ooh.
lifetime?
I feel
How
like
long do you think you've been in here?
I know it technically hasn't been forever because I have memories of when I wasn't in here. But I'm pretty sure I've been in here forever.
Well, if it eases your mind any, though I'm not quite sure how long Ebb and I guess Hayden too, were underwater. But we've only been at this crazy facility island where there's a blue moon for about, and she looked at her non-existent watch. Maybe 12. Well, no. Well, I was knocked out for a little bit, so I don't know how long. We'll just say a good 8 hours.
8?
Maybe.
8 hours?
Maybe. Time is weird. Magic is real. I don't know what anything is anymore. And now we're in camp, but maybe we can use magic to get out of it, since that seems to be the answer to everything here. And what I would like to do, because Juni's still not quite sure how these connections work. She thinks that real Gia has her consciousness projected into her clone, which is why she has to be in a tank. Otherwise, they would have just killed her and kept like DNA samples or something to make clones of her. But she's worried that cutting off that connection will hurt her based on what clone Gia was not explaining to Juni. So Juni is just going to try to pull Gia out of this illusion by creating her own, if that makes sense. She thinks that this, whatever this is a prison. So she's like, okay, well, maybe if I can change the space, we can get you out of here.
Okay. How would you like to try to do that? And Gianna can help.
I would like to turn this desert into
Can I
a
make a
place.
suggestion?
Yes.
Please turn it into a dollar store and show me those stupid sponge things.
That's better. Well, kind of better than what I was gonna do, which was make a forest turn you into Snow White, except all of your little creatures are chimera creatures.
Aw.
But we can do that in the dollar store. So
Yes.
I want to break reality and put Gina into the real world.
Okay. And you want to do that with the memory of the dollar store. Now, be specific. Is this a Dollar Tree, a Family Dollar, a
General.
Dollar General? This is very important.
This is a Dollar Tree that has been surprisingly surviving since the recession in 2008. They have not raised their prices. Everything is still $1.
Wow, a
What?
true dollar store.
No tax.
Wow.
That is true
Nowadays.
dollar store.
Well,
The
that's-
community has pitched in, and everything has stayed $1. It is special.
That's the real
Okay.
magic.
You want to take her to a fantasy Dollar Tree. Gotcha.
It's a real Dollar Tree.
It's
Okay.
like the last
All right.
remaining blockbuster in Oregon that just barely exists.
For real.
The little sponge things that grow in water. We'll get there, but a Dollar Tree that's still $1. Okay.
As much as I believe, but $1. Mm-mm.
Okay. I'm gonna have both of you roll a charm to see how much you can basically believe your way back to the real world. And the highest roll will stand, essentially.
Would you like to go first?
If you get a 10, if one of you get a 10, it'll work. Might not work the way you want it, but it will work. If you get a 15 or higher, something great will happen.
You can go first. But
I got an 11 plus 2 for 13.
Okay.
I got a 19.
Nice.
Wow. A 19 and a 13, both over the 10. Snap. I'm going to say,
The power of friendship.
yeah, I'm going to say the power of friendship.
Or,
Now,
frenemy ship, depending on how you're looking at it.
Dude,
this month,
anything.
this month of both of yours will break your psychic connection with Gianna. And you will open your eyes and you will be back in the office, or in this lab. Gianna and Gianna. As Gianna in the tank begins to wake up, Gianna, who has been sitting next to Hayden, now is talking with Ebb, who doesn't even realize what's about to happen. She begins to convulse uncontrollably, hacking up blood, and her nose is bleeding.
Oh.
And I will allow her to say something before she blacks out.
Just get out of here safely, okay?
You got it, man. You did good work. I'm just gonna pat her on the shoulder. Help her down to the ground so she doesn't smash into it.
And you pass out. Gianna in the tank, you unfortunately wake up incorrectly. And even though the top of the tank is like technically open, you are waking up in a unfamiliar space. So I will say that you kind of wake up freaking out a bit. So go ahead and give me a grit roll. DC is going to be
yay.
4.
I could make that, guys. It's another 1.
You panic and immediately begin to drown.
Whoa! Give me a lift into the tank.
I put a hand down and boost Ebb up to the top of the tank where it's not bolted.
Okay, I'll let that happen.
I'll fling it up and dive inside and push on the bottom of her feet so she could get up to the top of the tank. Because I'm a really good swimmer.
Okay. Gianna, you burst out of the top, spitting out water, and you open your eyes for the first time, and you see Juni and Hayden on the ground down below you. Ebb is under you in the water, and there is a woman who looks exactly like you laying on the ground.
Oh my god.
Did you grab the lip of the tank?
I'm okay. Thank you. I'm okay.
Okay, I'm gonna swim up to the top and grab the lip of the tank too.
Hi.
This is fun.
This is, I wasn't, for the record, afraid of water before. Maybe a little bit now.
That seems fair.
Is that me and am I dead?
That's you, but a clone of you, they don't normally last very long. I'm surprised this one's still alive, sort of. She might be dead now.
I'm gonna need so much therapy after this.
Probably.
All right, let's get you down.
Yeah, okay.
And Ginny holds her arms up and grabs her and helps her get down.
Yeah, you are drenched wet. Actually, anyone who's touching her, like helping her get out, and even Ebb as well, because Ebb, you're in the tank. This can make me a brains roll. Ebb, I'll say you don't actually need a brains roll because you were in the tank, and you could probably tell that the water is weird because you're swimming in it. But everybody else make a brains roll. And
I know because Sploop was in it, and he said it was weird.
He did, but he couldn't figure it out because he couldn't understand the magical component. But I think you would understand the magical component.
Would I though?
10.
I got a 3.
I exploded. That is a... Do I have me brain? 18.
I got a 3.
I've never changed.
Hayden, are you rolling?
Put it this way, for him, observing at a distance, I did. It was a 5.
You're not. Okay. Okay. Well, then, Gianna. I mean, that makes sense. You were living in it for a long time. You know that the green stuff, even though it is technically water, the green stuff is kind of like an experimental nano magic type thing. Like it acts as life support.
Huh. I feel like this could be a loaded question, but did you like her? Like, was she a good guy?
She was an okay guy.
It was all right towards the end.
Still not you, though.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hayden. You could tell. Yeah, we could put her in the tank. It's like a weird life support thing.
Ooh.
I mean, it would be a good distraction if any dumb guards came looking for you.
Also, might keep her alive if she's ever able to break whatever mind control she's got.
That's true if you want two of you walking around somewhere.
That'd be cool. I have
This
like 100.
conversation, this conversation is very sweet, but the tank will only work if the individual is alive. So I will ask that someone check that she is alive.
You both look at Hayden.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hayden probably will.
Yeah, Hayden, you can just go over and check. I'm gonna say no roll necessary. She is no longer with you.
We should still put her in the tank.
Checking a couple of the pulse points, just kind of looks at them and is like, just silently shakes his head.
She'd still be a good distraction. We should put her in the tank and then we should leave this room. Because there's like guards all over everywhere out there. We need a new spot.
Yep.
Yeah, but what's in
Okay.
the spot if they're looking everywhere?
Well, we can find one. I got these keys. And she holds up like a deck full of cards.
Oh, that is so helpful.
Good job.
Also,
Yeah.
where did you get those? Where have you been?
I've been killing people.
I'm not going to ask any further.
Now, if you guys want to move, there's a couple of places you could go. Most of the places are going to get checked. Like, they're going to go door to door. There are only a few places they aren't going to check. However, I don't know if any of you would know this because clone Gianna is dead. But regular Gianna, I will allow you to, in this moment, try to almost do like a memory siphon of
Ooh.
clone Gianna.
Yes.
However,
That sounds traumatic and fun.
I was gonna say, however, I'll ask you to roll a grit roll.
Damn it.
And there might be a consequence, obviously, if you don't make the DC.
Cool. I love consequences.
Gia, you did just get out of the scary goo. If you don't want to, I can always ask Matryoshka what she wants to do. She's very smart.
For some reason, I think all of these options are bad.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I will say you just do that. You're able to go over to clone Gianna and basically connect with her and her lasting energy that's left that was already connected with you. Just basically take the last few moments or memories. And so you do know that the observation hall, which is on the other side of the area, you need a key card to get into, and so they most likely would just assume that you can't get in there. And then the director's office, which is next door, nobody goes in there other than the director, obviously. And Gianna has been in there. Clone Gianna has been in there several times.
Would clone Gianna and therefore Gia know if any of Ebb's cards could open the director's door?
Let's see. Go ahead and roll a grit first. And then I'm going to roll for, how many did I say? It was 5?
5.
5
5.
FFE.
I used one to get into this door.
Yes, one of them you got into there. What's your grit? Your grit DC should be 5.
Guys, we exploded.
Nice.
Twice. 9.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
It will never happen again.
As you siphon this lasting memory from Gianna on the ground, for a moment you feel a weird sickness, almost something like gross and overwhelming for a second, but then it dissipates, and you do not have her boon.
Oh, good. Glad that's gone.
For Ebb, everyone choose a number between 1 and 5, and it has to be a different one. Actually, it won't be the same one.
4.
Are we just
2.
picking one number?
Yep, just one number.
3.
1.
Okay. Aiden.
2.
Okay, doing the gambit. I'm gonna choose 1.
Dang it.
Is it a 1? It's a
Oh,
1,
no.
isn't it?
Just tell me how I die.
5.
Like that.
Oh my gosh.
Just tell me how I die. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
That's
R.I.P.
crazy, ma'am. A 5. We'll count that as a success. Full success. Yes. At some point, one of the mini Ebbs was able to swipe the key card off of Helmuth herself.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
What
She's
absolute
my
legend.
new favorite.
Give that one a scarf and a helmet.
Yes.
Oh, the dice tell a story. All right.
I give her one of my little like anchovy snacks, which is like
Ooh.
almost as big as she is.
Even though she has razor sharp teeth, she takes it nicely from you and then swallows it without chewing.
Yes,
Oh my God.
I love them so much. I need to use the doll again so I can make more.
I will say that you all will be able to move quickly and easily the closer your target is to you. So where are you moving to?
I vote we go to the director's office.
Yeah.
She's the only one that goes in there. And if we need to, we can just jump her.
It probably also has a bunch of smart people stuff for you guys to figure out stuff.
I haven't jumped the most powerful whatever she is in this place.
Yeah, then we could
You
kill
know.
her and destroy the whole place at once.
Put it this way, Juni, if you need any reason to absolutely be willing to jump this woman, it was in the notes that were handed to her that you were absolutely very easy to manipulate.
Oh, it was?
Wow.
Wow.
Ginny looks shocked, and then she looks so offended, and then she's like, "Yeah, I can murder somebody today."
Want one of my spikes?
I can
In
murder somebody today."
whatever afterlife Gianna clone is in, she's cackling.
I will say you guys leave Gianna there. You leave Lab 9.
And we take the files with us.
Okay.
And the maps.
Okay.
Yes.
Everyone
we
go
put
ahead and roll a flight.
Gianna, and we put Gianna back in the tank.
Okay. Yeah, you put her in the tank. She kind of sinks to the bottom a little bit, and the tank turns from green to red.
What?
But you do
So,
That's
so
wild.
much therapy.
It's not good.
I am gonna have nightmares for the rest of my life.
This is
But
awesome.
everyone give me a flight to see how, kind of like just a group check to kind of just see how you all get to, you're right next door. So the DC's not, it's not really a DC. I just want to see how you all do getting over there.
I got a 9 plus 2, which is 11.
exploded for a 12.
So 6.
What do we need to pass?
Nothing.
Okay, I got a 3.
Okay. Yeah. Most of you got over like a 4, which is fine. Yeah, you all are able to quickly get to the next one. You are not spotted by anyone in the hallway. So you can hear people going down the hallways, and you can see that all of the metal doors that had closed and locked down are now up. But you also, as you're quickly walking over, whoever has the key card uses the key card. You guys slip into the director's office. You can also see that people are a bit panicked. There's a lot happening, but everyone's running all over the place. But you guys are able to go into the director's office. The director's office is pretty, like, very much almost just like her office at camp. It has a lot of like lush leather. She has a big, huge wooden desk that is at the end of the hall. Unfortunately, we're underground, so she doesn't have a window. But she does have like one of those fake panes behind her so that it looks like it's outside. She has a huge bookcase on the right side that has these beautiful old collectible books, probably. It is very much giving old academia. Hayden, this is something that would be very common in your father's, study.
Yeah.
But you guys are inside of her office, and you have some time to recoup and plan, but you still have some things to read, and you can also investigate the office. What would you like to do?
Is there a vent in this room?
Is there a vent? No.
Yeah, like the ones that the little me's went through.
There's not a
before?
vent.
Okay. How many little me's do I still have?
I think you still have like 70 or 60.
Oh, great.
I will say it's been a while, so you don't 100% know how many are left, but they aren't gonna last forever.
I think Junie would like to look at the files and the maps since she hasn't looked at them yet, just to see if she can help piece things together that anyone else hasn't. If other people wanted to look around the room for different information.
Okay.
Is there like a computer on the desk?
There is not. Oddly enough, very much like how you guys saw at her other office, she does not like to have electronics anywhere. She tends to also still write with pen and paper. So you see on her desk there is like a quill, like a pen, a quill with ink. There's also a bunch of papers. There's like letters and a letter opener. There's a whole area for her to like write letters, and she also receives letters. So there's like a stack of like mail that's come in. Some of it open, some of it waiting to be opened.
Is there any kind of way that she like monitors what's going on in the facility from here?
Not in the office. That'd be in the command center.
All right, I'm ransacking your desk.
Okay.
Is there
Juni,
a tank of water anywhere?
I'll say yes. I'll say she has like a little basin that has like water in it, like fresh water in it.
Suspicious. Continue, Gia.
Juni and Hayden, if both of you are going over the files, read them out loud.
Yeah, okay. I will go ahead and skip that first line. That's in mine, I guess.
Oh, don't worry. I think we all know what that says.
Hayden, what are you doing? Are you doing something different?
No, Hayden's with Junie going through the rest of the files.
Okay. Well, then let's start with the files. You were at Ebb Ebb Undertow. It's the exact same stuff as the other two. It has that information. For her, though, it doesn't have a sample of blood. It actually has like a swatch of scales that are like pasted down onto like a swatchboard. And it also, unlike you two, has a small little diagram of her family tree. But then at the end, it also has notes from Miss Angelique. First note reads, consent not given. Second note reads, Ebb has far too much control and is allowed to do as much as she wants at camp. If we're not careful, she may become a problem. That's the first line. Second line, I strongly suggest Ebb's expulsion from camp. Her ability to communicate with the local wildlife is dangerous, and should she be able to learn the truth, this may get back to Raksasi, and in turn, the divinity ward. That's the third line. And the last line. I order the destruction of Ebb Undertow for the protection of the project. Her body should be completely destroyed, and the doll in her possession returned to me. An investigation should begin immediately as to how the doll got into the warded border in the first place. Her attunement of the object must be stopped at all costs. And that is the last line.
Yeah, I thought Mom would be pretty not happy with what was going on at this camp.
Is that why your mom did not give consent for you to be here?
Oh, she gave consent for me to be here. I think I didn't give consent to be experimented on.
Did you sign anything before you came to camp?
Nope.
Weird.
This is a good question. Everybody roll me brains. DC is a 10.
1.
That explodes. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Well, my explosion's not gonna be anywhere near as impressive as yours. That's only a 13.
3.
That is a 24.
Woo!
Somebody had to.
Somebody had to do it. Okay.
You had to do it.
Let's start with the 13. As you hear them going back and forth about this, you understand that yes, actually, Ebb is correct. The consent that is talked about at the beginning of each of your files is about whether consent was given for the experimentation. However, I think even on a 13, I think you specifically realize that Ebb has been talking about this Matushka doll she has, that you guys know she has, but I don't think you really understood what it was or what it does or that it would be of an interest to Miss Angelique until right now, which makes you wonder what's going on with that. So that's what you get on the 13. On the 24, Hayden, I think based off of your, background and of course that really interesting thing that happened specifically to you where your father gave you a packet of paperwork to give to the camp when you arrived that you didn't open, but you assumed it was the paperwork required for camp. However, you've learned how to read contracts and you know about fine print, and your father is not someone who would sign something with his actual name, with his penmanship, that he did not read fully, and he does not know everything about it. Mm-hmm. So you also know that, which means most likely you understand that when they're saying consent given, consent not given, particularly with Juniper, which says automatic consent, you understand that that doesn't necessarily, they're not talking about given they're not really talking about it in terms of like their parents said, yes, I agree to my child being experimented on or not. It's probably there's fine print in the paperwork that was signed for camp, and everyone that comes to camp is technically agreeing to be experimented on. The reason why it might say consent not given is probably because the fine print dictates something. Like it probably dictates that, like, if you sign this, you are consenting to X, Y, and Z. But if you'd like to opt out, you know, the little fine print that says, if you'd like to opt out of this, you have to do this. The people who saw that fine print probably did the opt out. So that's what they're talking about. Which makes sense with Juniper, because that fine print is probably only things, it probably was even coded and difficult to find if you don't know magic very well.
Yeah.
Whereas our parents are suspicious of everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you understand that that's a tricky way to get people who, especially new people that come to the camp, or people who, I mean, because this camp is it's known as a prestigious camp, right? It's known as a place that a lot of kids want to go to. And so you also connect, because that role was ridiculous, you also connect pretty much what's going on with this, with the way that some of these kids are missing or disappearing. Obviously, they're experimenting on people regardless of whether consent was given or not, because that's what this is doing.
Yeah.
However, they're not going to disappear the ones that where they feel like their parents might care, essentially. Like their parents might know.
No.
So they've been careful about that probably in the last couple of years. So whatever happened with you guys probably was a bit of a mistake, given that it's very clear on here, except for Ebb, that Miss Angelique understood the rules, and she was following them, right? You guys are being experimented on, sure, but she wasn't planning to do anything that would jeopardize the project. However, Ebb kind of ruined her plans, and she kind of saw that she could ruin her plans for the rest of this project.
Plus, the thing, but Hayden, also that thing that it said about mom talking to, like, the divine whatever the thing, like that, they knew mom would probably raise a shit ton of shit if she found out what was going on in the camp. So they had to, like, once we found out stuff, they were like, oh, well, we can't let this get back to the Wicked Witch of the Sea, or, you know, bad things would happen.
You also can assume, based on how irate she got with Ebb, that most likely that destruction order, she's clearly not the boss. Dr. Helmuth is the boss. So the destruction order didn't actually happen, obviously. So she was just personally angry. And again, this doll is mentioned.
He just kind of shakes his head, looks at Ebb, it's like, I'll put it this way. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that Dr. Helmuth is interested in you, because I think that's the only reason you are still standing here at the moment.
Probably.
Can I try to do something? based on what the ward has taught me, I'm gonna look at Ebb and say, it's clear that she has it out for you, and she is here. I could try to put a protection rune on you and your doll in case something goes really bad. It's up to you.
I don't really trust the rune stuff, because that's what's keeping all the monsters in the forest and stuff. So, no thank you. But that's very nice.
That's cool. I'm going to take a look at... I want to look at Hayden's file, and after seeing my note about our connection.
Okay. You go back up to Hayden's file, or you go to Hayden's file. Hayden, are you reading this? And Juni, are you reading this out loud?
Yes, I'm reading it out loud. Gia told me to.
But he is indeed reading it.
Okay. Before we do that, let's see what Gianna found. Gianna, you have been looking all over the desk. Luckily, she really thought nobody was going to be able to get in here because it is key card activated, and she doesn't give anyone her key card. So it's not like hidden. You know, the last thing she was doing or opening or reading are on the desk. And this is what you find. You find a letter that once again has the markings that you noticed before when Sploot brought you guys the maps. And it clearly states, to the current owner of our moon's lands, this missive has been sent to inquire into the nature of the number of missing children from your camp. As per our agreement, the wildlife must not be affected by your actions. Yet we have received several notifications that ancient beasts, flora, and fauna have drastically decreased in population since your 10-year lease. Our Lady of the Moon glows brightly when in the presence of healthy and happy children. Thus, we are very concerned that the land seems to be doing the opposite of thriving. This is unacceptable. An audit shall commence in the upcoming Orange Moon cycle. Our warden will conduct this investigation in conjunction with 2 wardens in training stationed at Ward 2. This will arrive at the end of the summer. By the moon's grace, Sasha Devois, priestess of Ward 12, the divinity ward.
Good.
I knew that they were hurting the whistle man. Sons of bitches.
I think that was good. Because I think this is that warden. I forgot his name. My notes are too long.
Grim?
Oh, see, she's running
Grim.
from the divine ward. That's not here.
So a lot of let's see some brain rolls. You were reading this out loud, Gianna?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Whoever wants to make some brains rolls can make some brains rolls. Let's see if you guys can I'll say a DC 5 will get you something. A DC 10 is better. A DC 15 will get you something. A DC 20 or more
Hayden.
might get you something very good.
I got a 2.
Good. Don't be wrong.
Brand.
That is a 10 with my bonus. So not an explosion.
Got an 8.
Okay.
So close. That was a 19.
Dang it!
Oh.
So close.
Oh man, you could
can add a token.
explode.
Yeah, I have one adversity token. I will use that to get the 20.
And then roll again.
Oh man.
Okay. Once again, I think you guys all kind of get a couple of things from it, and then Hayden basically tells you the whole.
It's
like, all right,
Hayden
you
is
dumb
like
dumbs.
he's like the good teacher and lets us kind of like figure things out on our own. He's like, yeah, you guys were right about this and this and this. Oh, also this.
And then lays out a full history lesson.
And Ebb, you knew nothing, but good try.
Tried.
You knew it was a letter.
Number one, obviously, what stands out is the mention of the orange moon, because you guys did that whole riddle in those ruins that were underneath the water where you found the beast. That was a whole situation. So you are reminded now that according to those riddles and according to some of the old scriptures you found, this world that is called Hypharon is supposed to have different moon cycles, right? It has an orange moon cycle, has a black moon cycle, has a blue moon cycle. So you're like, okay, so you know immediately that they're talking about that world, Hypharon. You also have the maps, so you know they're talking about that world. I think finally, with so much information you've gathered, you finally do realize that you all are on Hypharon. You are in this world right now. So you know that. That's the first thing you kind of get. You also do know that the warden that they're talking about, when they say our warden, they are referring to Grimm.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Grimm's goal is to mainly take care of the animals, but also he does seem to be kind of out of the loop. Like, yes, he will take in with some classes, but he doesn't teach any classes. He really only helps with runes class when they need him to. But his focus is on protecting the creatures that live on the land. So you know all of that. What else would you know? Oh, I guess you would know also that the Lady of the Moon is referring to the goddess who represents the blue moon. You guys have seen that a bunch. And you also connect that to one of the stories that you heard, where this goddess apparently draws her power and gives her power to the land when she is around children, because she really likes children. So you're like, okay, so first of all, you're learning that all of this mythos you've learned seems to be true. This world that is supposed to not exist, called Hypharon, does exist, and you're on it. And the Divinity Ward, which is supposed to have been an extinct religious order, is very much alive, kicking, and has a good amount of power, obviously. But they also are not happy with the camp, perhaps the owners of the camp, because it says here that they're kind of letting them lease the land, right? So like they're bringing happy, healthy children. That's great. So like, yeah, you use the land, see the animals. It's a cute little camp. That's great. That sounds amazing. But then they're like, what's up with all the missing kids? That's super alarming. There's a lot happening. And then, then there's some issues with the native population, because as you all know, they are experimenting on the ancient beasts that are on land. So now it's gone from there's some suspicious stuff happening to we're coming to check this out. Now, it says it will happen at the end of the summer. However, everyone here, this is on her desk, so she's clearly read this. So this must be recently sent to her. She must have recently read it. So perhaps that is why she has been maybe a little less secretive, to be honest, about kidnapping kids and having kids go missing and doing all these experimentations. Like, you might sense that she's trying to move things up a bit, be quick about it, because she kind of probably knows that she needs to get all this stuff done and probably wrapped up and hidden by the time this audit happens. So that's all the stuff you learn, and I'll say you tell all of that to everyone.
Oh, good. The psychotic scientist is getting desperate. That always ends well for everyone.
Yes, especially the scientist. Okay, so maybe the guy with the runes isn't bad.
I told you he wasn't.
Well, you'll have to forgive us, Juni, if we do, trust
His
but
name
verify.
is Grim.
Okay, well, it was less the name and more Juniper trusting questionable authority figures.
His name is Grim. That's the guy who kills people.
Okay, well, I met him and he has a really cool chimeric dog.
Oh.
Yeah.
We know about the dog?
You probably could have led with that.
Yeah, I think only Juni went up to his little caravan.
Man, if you told me he had a really cool dog, I might have liked him better.
I might have if you would have listened to me instead of being like, the runes are bad, we have to get rid of them in order to protect the forest, even though the runes protect the forest.
Well, apparently they don't protect it particularly well.
Yeah, because it's dying.
How about we continue going through these files? All right? See what else is going on.
By all means, they're in your hands. I'm just ransacking a desk here.
Yeah, Gianna ransacked the desk, found those letters, and found some other stuff. Nothing more important than that, to be honest. And then said the letter out loud. And then Hayden talked for like 5 minutes to explain everything. Yeah, basically. And then at the end, you all were like, "Huh, okay."
Hayden is the Greek chorus explaining to our audience what happens and what they should think.
Now, I believe somebody also wanted to look at the maps.
Mm.
Who wanted to look at the maps?
Me.
Okay. I think at this point, now that you guys know so much and that you know that you're on the land, you also can kind of tell based off of what you have learned that you're in these cluster of islands in Ziela.
All the way down there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the camp, though?
In one of the islands.
My guess was Kasha because of the forest surrounding it. I just can't see any cliffs. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, the only thing you guys know is that you drove into this land and you crossed a barrier. If we remember way back to episode 1.
Yeah.
Simpler times.
I know.
We're just going to summer camp. Nothing was ever bad was going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. You guys crossed a barrier and you entered the camp. Now, it is well known that this no one can find the camp. Like, you can't go to this camp unless you were brought to the camp. It
has to be teleported into.
That is the assumption you guys are now making, is that it looks like you come to camp in the same plane, but in reality, there is some sort of a portal that takes you from your world to this world.
So when we were in the really deep lake, was it really the Hyperion Deep? Like, were we in the ocean?
I will just give you that, yes.
Probably.
Cool.
Long time.
So, you guys know a lot of information. So, as you read Hayden Valentine's, you see the same. Actually, you don't see the same stuff. There are no pictures of Hayden. There is no blood sample. The packet that was given to them is there. It is still full, but it's still closed.
If you don't mind, Juni.
Now's your
Hayden's
chance.
gonna reach around and grab the packet.
You grab the packet.
Yep.
Are you gonna open it?
Not yet. Let's see what the notes say first.
Okay. It has like a sheet of just like his information, like his general contact information, like the document that all of you have in yours.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see Miss Angelique's notes. First one says, consent given. Visions seem unreliable but powerful. Father requests experimentation on familiar connection. Is suspicious of the connection. Would like to figure out how to break it.
Oh,
Wow.
your dad sucks.
That's messed up.
He's a dick.
That's really messed up.
Put in
Hey,
camp
it
with
just
newcomer.
crushed in one sentence.
Y'all okay? Y'all need a minute.
This is the thing that gets us all riled up immediately. Nothing else.
It's
It's
really
only getting
upset.
worse.
Inter commentary here.
God.
That's messed up.
How dare he come between a familiar and a witch? This is ridiculous.
It's the literal like the joke, like it's not even the joke. It's the literal stereotypic connection of the connection of a boy and his dog. It's
Literally.
Like, terrible.
Still reading the first one. The last sentence. Put in camp with the newcomer to see if visions are more exact with close proximity. Second line, so that's the first line. Second line says, experiment A inconclusive. No visible signs that visions have become stronger due to proximity. And that's the second line. Third line, which is the last line. Interesting development with experiment A. Previous status of inconclusive may need to be retracted. See Juniper Aroha's file for further detail.
Okay. So clearly there's something going on between us.
Yeah, you guys had that big shared vision thing, right?
Yeah, you remember the 9/10 you told me that story?
But how
Yes,
did
but I don't
you
remember
know
telling
about
anybody about that.
that? Yeah.
Somehow, Juni, I don't know how, but you make my abilities work better.
Do you guys think they had cameras in our tent somewhere?
Is there anybody else that we told?
I don't think
Was
Didn't we
that-
tell Cleo? Chloe?
I think
Was
we woke
that-
up the next day and they were dead.
Yeah.
Was that before or after we got Juni out of her
And I think back, I just need to
unhealthy
get rid of one of
relationship?
I just need to get rid of one of my theories as a player.
Mhm.
Looking back at
Back to
Gia's dead body, did it look like the other three's dead bodies?
oh no. Mm-mm.
Thank God. Scrapping that one.
In fact, I will say, between all of this information sharing, with Sploop telling you guys about these children that are in containers, Gia understanding that the containers do have some sort of life support, and they should be life support if you're alive when you go into them. The clone Gianna clearly, like fully, like expiring, and the weird way that not only Juni was able to somehow sense that the other three were alive, but also that I think Gianna also knows that Dr. Helmuth has the other three somewhere in the facility. No reason to keep dead bodies. So there's something going on. I think the one thing you all recognize right now with all of this information is that they're all talking about experiments, but you don't know what the experiments are.
Well, we know that some of them were to do with the powers that they had. Like they were trying to see if they could get Hayden's powers more powerful.
Right, and mine were dormant, kind of, until the vision thing. What did my note say about me and Hayden?
You guys can tell from Miss Angelique's notes that she kind of half is paying attention to all of you because she's the nurse, so she looks at everyone individually. But these are her notes. These are her personal notes that she probably reports, right? They're not necessarily what the experiments are. That's you're only going to find in the labs. Also, unfortunately, clone Gianna is no longer with you, but she was the only person who was in the command center other than the little vicious Ebb. And in the command center, I believe she was also the only person to see what they were looking at, like how they were monitoring the camp.
And I wouldn't have gotten any of those memories from her.
I don't know if you get enough to like be able to see through her eyes in that moment. I think you got enough to like know the layout of the place. Like, you know where the command center is, you know where the door is, you know that Dr. Helmuth is a vicious, cruel woman. Like you know like feelings and spaces. I don't know if you can necessarily like in that moment look through her eyes and see exactly what she saw. But you do know that the command center is the command center. That's where they do all of their observation, unless they're doing in-person observation. And you do know that they do in-person observation. And I'm sure Juni probably suspects they do, since she's the one that saw Dr. Zebulon.
Would I have an idea of like a location that they keep all of their notes stored? Like their actual experiment logs?
Probably in the command center. Or on a computer in one of the labs. And I believe Sploop did try to access a computer, but it needed a password and a key card.
And he dumb.
But at least Sploop can tell us where it is, because Sploop's been there.
Can we read Cinder's file? I feel like all of these are like really specific to us, but also like Cinder, like her dad is here. Like,
that's true.
Like what? Like our parents obviously didn't agree. Well, I guess Hayden's parent agreed for him to be experimented on purpose, but the rest of ours didn't really agree, at least not on purpose. So like, what's this? Is this dad just like the worst dad in all creation? We should read Cinder's file.
He seemed kind of shocked when I told him that Cinder was alive. But it would be interesting to see what's going on.
You all crowd around as Ebb opens up Cinder's file. It has in the first 2 pages the same information as you guys had, including like the blood sample and stuff like that. The last page, though, has no notes from Miss Angelique. It is instead simply a page that states Lab 002, and there is a symbol on it that you don't like really recognize. It looks like it's been written on the margins of the page, and that's it. There is no notes, nothing about it.
Do you think she was a clone?
Maybe. I mean, we did think she was a ghost at
Her
first.
dad was not sad that she was missing like we were.
Well, if he doesn't know. Or he's a clone.
But they announced it around camp. Like he would know.
Well, but he's here.
Right,
Maybe
but
he was already here.
And then at the camp, too, as the teacher, I think he's in on everything. He was a terrible teacher anyway.
We don't know.
Well, I think it's probably safer to assume he is in on it, and if we see him, act accordingly.
It's true. And I'm not quite sure how he found me in that sector with the other kids. Do we have any files on those kids?
So you didn't grab those
Dang.
or look for those. But now that you are remembering the situation with Dr. Zebulon, you distinctly remember he put his head in expecting to see the other children. And he was surprised to see you. But he was just seeing if they needed anything, any more snacks, any water, like he was doing a check-in.
Oh yeah, he's in on it.
And then you popped up.
See?
He's in on it. He was making because I remember I freaked out about it because these guys were like, he's in charge of the food, and these guys were like gorging themselves on food. It was crazy. I don't know why they're here. They're not magical. And they're like, it's so weird. It's so weird. I don't know why they're here, but we should figure out why they're here. Also, the Whistle Man is here. They said that they saw him. So we have to take care of that as well.
Oh, good. I think I called him like a couple of times. So maybe he'll come help us. That'd be fun. Oh, hey guys, there's a bunch of Freds somewhere.
What?
I'm gonna hold that matter.
Two very different ones.
Juni has flashbacks to Vietnam.
So who was I think Gianna was rummaging through the desk as you guys are having this conversation. Gianna, you also find some other paperwork, one thing that says, I literally just had it. Oh, one thing that also is a piece of paper that talks about the Happy Camper Company, which is the company that owns all of the Happy Camps or Happy Camper camps. There are many of them. This one is
one?
Popular. What was that?
There's more than one.
Oh yes, it's a Happy Camper Company is very popular. They've had many camps for many years. But you find some information that tells you that Happy Camper Co., even though I don't think they really advertise this, they are a science company. You find that. And then you also do find a list. And basically on the list is everyone who is on the monitoring list, like the people who are at camp who monitor the campers. So these are the people who are in on it. It is pretty much everyone, but Grim and his girlfriend, the general staff, like the cooks and like the general staff that like do maintenance, like administration, like those people they tend to be hired every camp. as well as like the counselors and the campers, obviously. So other than general staff, but everyone else, all of the teachers, they're all in on it.
The
Also,
teenage camp counselors?
no, they're not in on it.
Okay.
Also, another person who's not actually in on it is Mr. Elf. Because he kind of keeps the camp running. And he just thinks he has a regular job.
Oh, that
So
poor man.
He's just that mean. He's just a mean man.
You also do find more information on Grimm in his HR file, essentially, showing that he is not being paid by the Happy Camper Company like everybody else, like all the staff and everybody else that works there. He is being paid, or he was hired or assigned by the Divinity Ward. So he's a bit of a different person. You also find basically a lease, like a signed lease from the Happy Camper Company and the Divinity Ward for the land that they are on. And the lease very clearly states what is allowed and what's not allowed. Like, what are the rules? And I will put those in the chat.
Okay, guys. Basically, we have to get proof of all of these things that they are doing and then bring it to the Divinity Ward, and we'll blow this camp wide open.
The investigation begins. It says, so the land is leased for camp operations as long as they follow the following rules. Number 1, they are not allowed to dig into the earth and build anything underneath it.
They've done that. We went through the tunnels. Me and Cinder went through all the tunnels underneath of the buildings. They've done that.
It's done to the termites.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know that they have clearly not, broken this rule. Also, the ship that you guys are in, that you guys kind of correctly guessed, is a ship. It was buried in this land like a long time ago. They just kind of took it over. Number 2, they must retain any appointed warden who is in charge of keeping the wildlife safe. So that is why they haven't kicked Grimm out, but they don't keep him in the loop, obviously, of what they're doing, because he's not about that. Number 3, they must not have camp during the Orange Moon. This is the off season of camp. So this is why this is a summer camp and a summer camp only. And number 4, they may study, but they must not disturb any of the ancient ruins. Obviously, they're doing that. They're in a ruin right now. And all of the ruins, they have something going on with them, right? The ones in the Bury Me Dunes have something going on. The mess hall is a ruin. They have something going on there with the tunnels that Cinder is in, every place. So they are fully violating all of these rules, and they're just trying to keep it quiet.
Does anybody have cameras?
I'm just taking all of this.
No, I mean,
Hey.
so we can have proof that they're doing all this stuff.
Oh.
Juni, you have that box thing that you carry around that sometimes you try to call home with.
Cell phone. You're right.
Does
Take
that
it out.
have a camera?
Yes. I start snapping pictures.
Yes.
Okay. You guys gather as much evidence as you can, and you're able to take as much as you'd like.
I have a thing. Wait, guys. Oh, guys. Hey,
Okay,
hey.
yeah.
So
What you got?
you know how Hayden is dead and he met a god or something, and now all the myths are true. So do you think he met one of the 3 goddesses or whatever the thing is?
I'm sorry, Hayden, you're dead.
As much as I hate him, he did seem pretty knowledgeable.
That's
What? Hold
that's
on.
right.
Wait.
I'm
Oh,
sorry. You
Hayden's
were
dead.
there.
Yeah, he's being held at some guy's house who had a lot of teacups and was obsessed with sweets.
Deep underwater in a weird underwater city that isn't a siren city. So, like,
We almost choked him out and he teleported us outside of his house.
Yeah, he didn't like us very much.
Mm-mm.
But he liked Hayden.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Hayden
Are-
is a zombie now, though.
oh yeah,
Are-
he doesn't have
But
a
we love
heartbeat.
him anyway.
Yeah, he's great.
Hayden
And his
is
ghost
there.
dog is awesome.
Are you okay, Hayden?
I have asked myself that exact question every day that I have woken up in this godforsaken camp. The answer becomes no more and more every day.
Well,
Okay, fair.
You are not the only one who is going to need therapy after all of this.
So much.
you don't have time to process anything.
Nope. Let's get all this stuff, and I'm gonna leave the director a very rude note in place of all of her things.
Oh,
Okay.
that's fair. That's fair.
I just take a quill, and it's just a big F you.
Can I
Not
have
even
all-
on paper, just like
all the
on the
Ebbs?
desk.
All the Ebbs carve FU all over all the walls.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you now have gotten as much as you're going to get from this office. Where do you want to go?
So
If
Command
anything,
center?
before-
Man,
the
Mhm.
command center is going to be full of guards with guns and helmets, probably.
I have these guys for a limited amount of time, and our body count is 38 so far.
Okay.
We
are not as outnumbered as I thought.
maybe we could disguise ourselves. We have to find out what's going on.
I don't think I would pass as a guard.
That's what
You're a little short
Transportation
for
is
a
for-
stormtrooper.
The shortest of all stormtroopers ever. Just the helmet would like come down to her shoulders.
Based on what you guys can see from the map, it's a big old circle, but the circle is kind of cut off based off of the level. So if you go on the big roundabout that goes all the way around past 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, there's then a ramp that takes you up to the second floor, but you just keep going on that level until you get all the way down to the command center. If you go past the director's office, past 10, that actually takes you to stairs. Those are the stairs that Juni and Hayden and Gianna ran down to get down to the first floor when they were over at the command center earlier. The thing about those stairs is that they get blocked off during a lockdown and that they need a key card. So as long as you have the right key card, that would be your shortest way to get to the command center. But there is a long way around, and the long way allows you to get to some of the other rooms.
Tom did. He went a long way. So much.
I didn't see the other kids, but do you think the other kids would join us in a revolt?
They seemed a lot more like spy equipment when I was last hanging out with them. I tried to snap them out of it, and then they all just looked at me really weird. And I don't know what that was about. But I would like to know what that's about.
Was that because you were shaming their eating habits?
No. I didn't even get that far. I just got up to look out the window, and then they all looked at me.
Wow.
So, which direction do we want to go?
Is there a vent passageway from this room to the command center?
There is a vent in the command center because that's how one of the mini Ebbs got in. Where she came from, nobody knows.
Great. Is that one still around?
You would try and see. You would have to basically call whoever's left to you, and then I'll roll to see if she's still there.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, are you guys leaving the director's office? Because there's no vent in here, so you'd have to either open the door, you'd have to go out in the hallway, or...
Oh, I thought I had most of them with me. No?
No. I don't think so. Did you bring all of them with you?
I thought I did. I had the whole half that had murdered everybody come with me in the front door, and then the other ones met me with the key cards at
Oh my
the front door.
So they've just been hanging out like...
Yeah, that's what they were carving FU on all the walls.
yeah.
Nothing
Right,
phases us anymore.
Okay, I guess
Do
you
it.
gather them up. Chilling, waiting. Yeah, so you'll gather them up. First, I'm gonna roll I think I'm gonna roll a D20. Well, I'm gonna roll 2 D20s, see how many are left. 16 are left.
Ooh.
And then I'm gonna roll let's roll a D6. And once again, everyone choose a 1 through 5.
4.
One.
So I had 1, 5, 4, and
3.
3. Okay. I will choose 5. Okay. It's a 5.
No.
That one disintegrated at some point.
No.
She had a good life.
She did. She had so much blood.
How exactly do you make more of these marvelous little things?
Oh, I wish for them by talking to Maddie, the Matryoshka.
Mm-hmm. I think it is at this point as Ebb actually explains what's going on with the Matryoshka doll. And Ebb, do you kind of take it out to have them look at it?
Does she still have her war paint on like me?
Yeah, why not?
Yes.
You all see the Matryoshka doll, and you've seen it a couple of times, but it is a little worse for wear. Like it was already kind of looking a touch creepy when she first got it, but still freshly painted. Now it looks cracked, like the wood is kind of peeling from the bottom. The mouth is askew in terms of like its paint. Looks like it's been through the ringer. It also is everybody give me a grit roll as you look at this thing.
Damn it.
DC is going to be a 5.
Me too?
No, not you. You're fine.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Another one.
7.
That's a 6.
Okay. Who got the 1?
Idea.
I did. It's always me.
Hasn't suffered enough today.
I'm never having a low grit character in one of Tanya's games again.
You look at this thing and you feel like you just kind of get, for a moment, your eyes get stuck on its painted black eyes, as if it's begging you to continue to stare at it, and you kind of are hearing very low murmurs, voices speaking to you, and it is entrancing, and you can't really look away. Juni and Hayden, you both can tell that there's a strange aura coming from this thing. Like it already had one, but now it's like almost visible. Way worse. This doll has changed due to its usage.
In a bad way.
Is Gia still staring at it?
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna wave my hand between her eyes and the doll and be like, hello. I know she's beautiful, but we got stuff to do. Do you want me to make more?
Maybe don't point your doll's face at any of us.
Oh, okay.
Does
It's okay.
Ebb,
I think you're beautiful, Maddie.
does Ebb waving at me snap me out of it?
Tanya,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
does me waving get Gia out of the moment? No? I'll just put the doll back into my pocket.
Yeah, maybe.
Once it's out of sight, Gianna, you are able to kind of come back to yourself. You don't remember or feel like you just did that. A second only went by and nothing strange happened. However, you would really like to just maybe look at that doll a little bit more. You barely got a glance at it.
Ebb will remember this.
Do you mind if could I just like hold her for a second?
He slaps your hand. No.
Ow!
You need to figure out where to go.
Why?
No,
Why must
bad,
you
bad
continue to
Gia.
hurt me?
No.
Gia, it's okay, Gia. You're not used to cursed items. It's okay. Don't worry.
Okay. You're all right. Whatever. Can you make more with her?
I can.
Not. Maybe we should just leave the doll alone until we really, really need to use her.
Yeah, she's really good in more emergency situations.
Yeah, I think to me, she looks a little bit exhausted and needs a nap.
You know,
Probably.
it's not like
She's been hunting in the woods with me, so.
So instead, maybe we should figure out which way we should go.
Well, I still have 16, 18 of these guys. Maybe if I send like most of them in through the vents, maybe they can find their way to the command center and then make a really big distraction so that they're not watching the door when we come in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they already know their way to the command center. They've been running around this whole place.
But do we want time to explore other rooms? Maybe find the whistle man, see what else is going on with this place, get more evidence.
We could go the long way round and use them as our forward scouts.
That would be great.
And the only thing I'm thinking about though is that, like, will we even understand what's going on in those rooms if we haven't seen what the experiment is?
Well, we've got Hayden.
That's fair. We do have Super Brain Hayden.
All right, time to choose. Are you guys going the long way or the short way?
Ask the DM which way is going to get us the information we seek.
If you're trying to go to the command center to find out what the experiment is, you're going to go the short way. So that's to the right. If you're wanting to still go to the command center but stop at the labs on the way, you'll want to go to the left.
But those labs could potentially help us free some people, get a bigger army,
I mean, also, this is a big circle, so you can always just come back. It's just depending on what you want to do first based on the time you think you have available. You all do
Right.
know that something is happening. So obviously, if you go the long way and you go into the different labs to try and figure out what's in the labs, even though you kind of know what's in some of them because Sploop told you. But if you want to go there and like see them yourselves and try to figure them out, the more you're out in the open going to different places, the more someone will catch you in the hallway.
Yeah.
And
I guess
and
me
guys-
speaking above table, and to my fellow players, I was like, I was also thinking about like if there was a time constraint, like if we go to the command center, will we also have time afterwards to go to these other rooms?
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends on what's happening right now, because I think some of you saw people moving around, but no one actually knows what's happening.
I saw the other kids getting moved, so I think they're just gonna purge the entire location of all the experiments so that they can be like, oh no, we didn't do any experiments, because now they're worried about us getting out and telling everybody. So I think they're gonna murder all the experiments.
Have we heard any more PA announcements?
You have not, without even rolling. You assume that that because they can't find you, they're probably just trying to do what they're doing. If they see you or catch you, that's great, but I think it's kind of a Hail Mary type of situation. It's kind of like we got to wrap it up.
I think we gotta get the proof before we like try and liberate anybody, because otherwise they'll just burn it all, and then we'll have no proof that they were the bad guys all along.
I do hate the idea of not knowing what experiments are happening, and it's destroyed by the time we get there. Not sure if that would happen, but I don't know. It could be.
If
What
they
does everybody else think?
if they were trying to burn it all, they would probably be trying to do that from the command center.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, if you want to try and know the answer to kind of give you a better idea of what you should do next, one of you is going to have to get close enough to a radio or a guard or someone so that you can learn what the plan is. Is the plan to move everyone, to clear it out, or is it to incinerate everything? You won't know that unless you look at what they're talking about.
Turn into a guard.
And this might be risky, but you can also try to kidnap a guard, I guess.
Or that with the help of Ebb's tiny people.
Yeah.
So which way do we want to do it?
Hear me out. I put on Clone Gia's outfit. Juni, you turn into a guard. You pretend that you've captured me and persuade people that you've done that. And then I can kick their ass and we can steal their stuff.
Gia's outfit is covered in life support goo water.
Well, it's also, covered in blood, so that'll make it more believable that you captured me.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Is that the plan we're going? What is Hayden and Ebb gonna do?
I think that's a good plan. If we get it done really quick. Is there... I think I'm still gonna send most of my little army to the command center via the tunnels so that they can kind of like spy for me, see what's going on, and then be ready to attack.
Okay.
When we enter.
You all, okay, so as you open the door and probably peek out to see if anyone's out there, You again see someone walking down the hall. I'm gonna roll a d4. See which direction they're rolling. They're walking. They're walking the long way, or they're walking towards the stairs. Okay. They are walking towards the stairs. They had just passed your door. It's just a guard. They're walking fast, though. They seem to be going somewhere. But you see that it's fairly clear. And so your little ebbs run out. Hop into the nearest vent.
I'm going to keep 3 of them with me.
Okay.
If he's alone just walking past us?
He is, from what you guys can see.
Okay, we can do this. What I will do is, instead of you putting on your old clothes, I'll just change your clothes. Because I know what she looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I use magic to turn myself into a guard and get a gun. And I change Gia's clothes and herself to look more like her clone.
Okay. Sounds like magic is being used here.
Absolutely.
It sounds like it's transformation magic.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a charm roll with your magic die. We'll say the DC is going to be a 10.
So charm plus the magic die. Okay. That's a... What is that? Okay. That's a 13 plus 3 for 16.
Okay. Yeah. That happens exactly as you say. You look like a guard, and Gia looks like clone Gianna.
I would like to prep my blowgun and hide in the hallway close to them.
Okay.
That's smart. Once we get the information, you take the shot.
Yep.
And I grab, I hold on to Gia's arm and I drag her. I make sure he doesn't see us coming out the room, and I drag her toward the stairs. And I'm like, hey!
As you do this, Hayden, what are you doing?
I think for him, he's kind of popped in for moments within the conversation, but not entirely there with them mentally, in a sense. He's ready to bolt and run, like whenever any of them mention it. But for him, I think not in the sense of focusing on what any of them are doing. He's actually taking the chance to open the packet that was in his file.
Ooh. Okay. The question we've been wanting to know all season. So long.
Juni, you have the guard's attention. He kind of turns. He turns to look at you. Sees that you're a guard. Sees that you're with Gia. I don't think he puts 2 and 2 together that you're holding her like as hostage, or as like a guard. He just kind of sees both of you, and then he's just kind of like, yeah.
What the heck is going on? I found one of them, and I come back into the facility and see that everything is running amok. What's going on? Speak.
Jesus.
Are you Mr. Rankman?
Yes, Anti-Juni.
Let's see if you are. I think you're gonna roll a charm against. He's kind of rattled right now, so let's do a grit for him, and he's gonna do a D10, I think. So you gotta beat a 5.
That's gonna be a 24.
What?
He sort of lowers his head a little bit. I'm so sorry. We're evacuating. right now. But I have to go back down to the command center for the rest of the kids.
The rest of the kids. All right. Well.
Blowgun.
I'm gonna try to
He's just waiting for you to finish talking, and all of a sudden, and he falls to the ground.
You said
Alright.
as soon as we got the information. That seems like all the information.
Well, I could have gotten more, but you know what? That can't happen now. I take his key card, and then I take his body, since I have the strength of a guard, and I throw him.
Oh, get his radio.
I'll throw
And
him
his
into
gun.
Oh, and his
room
gun.
7.
Yeah.
And
Room 7.
No,
Did I
no,
not
no.
throw him
Throw
into
him,
room 7?
throw him into the director's office.
I'm
No
throwing
one's
him
gonna find
into the
there.
director's office.
I feel like you said room 7 first.
No, I think I've changed my mind. I think Judy walks up to room 7, is about to open the door, and she's like,
like,
you know what,
fucking
maybe
no.
I shouldn't do that because I haven't been in there. Then he turns around and throws him in the director's office.
I shall be nice. We'll let you.
The benevolent DM.
We'll let you throw him in there, Hitman style.
There you go.
And now you guys you have a free
Staircase?
hallway.
Do
Who
we
got
also have
his
a gun
gun?
and a radio and a key card?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he does.
I have his gun and a key card.
Who has the radio?
Radio. It's turned down really low, but if you turn it up, you can kind of hear what everybody's talking about. And they are basically just giving like final orders, like, hey, somebody go down to the south side, make sure that that's all cleaned up. Somebody flush those tankers, make sure this is getting moved out quickly. We only have 2 hours to get this place squeaky clean, et cetera, et cetera. So it sounds like they are evacuating everything.
We gotta go to the room.
We gotta go.
We gotta go to
Hayden!
the command center.
All right. You guys begin to make your way to the command center quick while Hayden takes his time because he's a bit preoccupied by a package or a letter that should be a couple of letters. Hayden, you open it, and it is indeed a packet of letters. You would assume a contract, at least that's what you figured it was. And you see, as you open it, you kind of see it's quite a thick pack, but it isn't like your father's information. It is all about this the camp. So number one, you see that there is a insignia on the first page. That insignia is the Happy Camper Co. Insignia that they put on everything, all their paperwork. And it basically is a long document detailing a transfer of power to your father. It just kind of details a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of okay, well, after, this date, this acquisition will be approved and, please initial here type of situation. It is not something that was given to you as a way for you to give it to someone else so that they could sign it. It's a copy. It's more like they had it sent to him, his people sent it off, and then they needed to he gave him a copy of all the final signatures.
Mhm.
Your father is the person who officiated this document. So he reviewed it, he made sure everything was good. He's the witness. And it's between the Happy Camper Company and Dr. Helmuth for basically the organization and the sale of particularly this ship. And it's kind of talking about that she has permission now to essentially move this entire facility to a new facility. And she's been transferred and that's all gone through. So it's a bunch of paperwork, but you're able to read it really quickly and get all of that.
Mhm.
At the end of the paperwork, there is a bit of a clause that is also signed where your father essentially is asking for a couple of favors so that it's for his services. You know, he's not getting paid. He's just kind of doing this to like get something out of it eventually.
Mhm.
One of them being that he gets to like get an experiment for free, of which you do see your name. And you do also see that he has basically okayed, how do I say this? Okayed if the experiment were to end poorly.
Dang.
Oh my god.
As long as he got
Wow.
the
And
restitution.
I thought my mom was fucked up.
As long as he got some sort of restitution for basically like damages, you know, like emotional damages type of situation.
God, Hayden.
There was any emotional damage at this point.
And that's basically the document. I think obviously that's it's a lot for you to get, but on the back of this whole document, it has like his contact information, the contact information of Happy Camper Company, which is not the camp, but it's the company, like their headquarters,
Mhm.
and the person who like approved this contract with Dr. Helmuth, Happy Camper, and this whole thing. This is essentially the best proof you're going to get to give to the Divinity Ward that they are doing horrible things at the camp. And that's what you get. And I think that's probably the perfect time to end our episode.
Ah.
Oh no!
And,
Hayden was dead on the outside. Now he's dead on the inside.
We will come back to see what's going on in the facility. But for now, thank you to our players. Thank you to you all for watching. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.